Isn't it strange how thinking is fictional? I used to think that we could think, but then I learned the truth. That all I've ever been is a bundle of automatic Isaac Newton pistons firing in generalized sequence, inscrutable at times. Underlying it all, there's a pattern. Just crack the code. What are you going to just take a hammer to this piece of quartz, and then there's a bunch of sesame seeds in it? Those things are going to fly real far, embed themselves in the wall. All your friends start coming over, licking the wall, saliva stains everywhere. You're like, my landlord is gonna, I'm not getting this security deposit back. Maybe you can play it off. Hey landlord, how have you been, brother? Come over here, give me some leniency. And then the landlord's gonna say, there is no way. This place is, that looks tasty. And then you start sliming the wall up all over again. He'll be complicit. You'll have photo evidence. Little owl statuette behind you has got some spy camera stuff going on in the eyeball. And that's what they meant when the detective came through town and said, hey, if you ever find yourself in a jam, just remember, spy cameras in the owl eyeball. Now, this got put to the test hard when this young lady first arrived at the theater. An intern. Kind of a four-letter word in the modern gig economy. I know, you land an internship, people start looking at you like you're the next Warren Buffett. Ah, teach me your ways. How did you get something that almost looks like employment? And then she just sort of crosses her legs. Real tight. Hear the knees scraping, top of knee against bottom of knee or back of knee. And, oh, it's so loud. They can't even hear her words, and that's her secret. 'Cause she always tells the truth. But she does it while there's loud knees. No competition that way. Blot out the elements. The folk lurking about. Little bit of an owl spy eyeball of their own. Tracking you throughout the day. You think you're safe. You think your techniques that you honed. Years of practice. Nobody's coming for those, and then... Uh-oh. All of a sudden it's back to the drawing board. There's a billion unemployeds, ravening to slurp your blood off the concrete, as if there's sesame seeds under it. But you stride right back into pseudo work the next day. Stop at the 7-Eleven first, walk up, shake hands with the doorknob, head for the counter and say, hey, clerk. Clerk crosses his arms, 'cause he's seen your type before. He says, yeah, what do you want? You say, I'm looking for something in a grapefruit lime mask soda. And he reaches for the grapefruit and lime, but then a little twitch betrays his surprise, and he says, come again? You're like, grapefruit lime mask, you got it? They don't, he says, make soda that tastes like masks. And then you launch into one of your elitist rants. Well, during my semester in Barcelona... See, everybody's trying to step to you. They can't step to you. Ground's too slick. Slick with the rain of 1,000 droughts denied. And they're just gonna strut their way through? I don't think so. I think they're probably gonna fall off a little bit. Yeah, hoot hoot, little owl. Fly back to your boss. Fly back and report everything you've learned watching a superior entity get an internship. Blowing people's minds on the daily. We need somebody to pitch in with the set design. Oh, that's not really my area of expertise. 2 days later, set looks like something off of a, 1970s movie. It's not up to modern standards. I mean, those are all computer generated in the first place. Arguably, they look like ass. I could get up on my soapbox about it, but why bother? I could instead chill out over here, admiring what this intern for now has achieved for this amateur production of The Curse of the Naptime Mummy. Brendan Fraser comes in. Mummy gets all pissed off because he's got a bottle of wine and he's singing Tom Waits real loud, all friggin' drunk on the moon and whatnot. Not that that's how Brendan Fraser is. I'm sure he's a perfectly respectful... Look, plays are fictional. Sorry to break it to you. It's just you think about mummies, you think about Brendan. They're synonymous. They're synaptic. 2 and 2. Both of these numbers are 2. Mummy rises from the glittering sarcophagus this intern painted herself with nail polish and lamb entrails and says, "Shut up. I'm trying to sleep." Drifts off again, but the party never stops. Fictional Brendan Fraser's moving on to the Billy Joel now, and he's still doing the Tom Waits voice. Why would that enter any sane mind? "Uptown girl." Mummy rises anew, holds aloft one knobby, worm-eaten finger and says, "1 second, Brendan, 1 second." Brews up some coffee, and the moment that mug is empty, the haunting commences. Those pyramids in the background sucked bad before Miss Intern worked her magic. Audiences would have left this play saying, "I don't get why they were standing amid a field of triangles." Everybody now is gonna leave there worshiping Ra. And I'm not saying we should form cults to Egyptian deities, but I mean, Thoth been looking at me with a kind of a knowing stare, and that's an iblis. Ibis. That's an ibis. Iblis is the devil in Islam. Look, sound is weird. You add an L to something and it is Satan. What's another one? Let's just... fork. Oh, how did you eat your dinner? With a knife and flork. Start spraying holy water out of a tear duct. Got an implant in the cheekbone that feeds holy water in there, so that when you're sad you can kill demons. Didn't think it would prove useful. Then you met me.